Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to knit seed stitch. And in order to knit seed stitch, all you need to know is the knit and the purl stitches. And so what I have done so far is I've just cast on 12 stitches. I recommend at least to start work in a even number, cast on an even number of stitches. And we're going to begin. You can see I have a short little tail yarn here, and here's my working yarn, which is attached to my ball of yarn. So I'm just going to go into the first stitch and I'm going to knit it. And if you don't know how to knit and purl, then you can watch the other videos that I've made so far, and I'll link to those below. The next stitch I'm going to purl, so I need to make sure I bring my yarn. When I knitted, my yarn was in the back. Make sure you bring your yarn around to the front and then purl the next stitch. And that is literally it. I'm just going to keep doing that, so I'm going to alternate. I'm going to knit one, purl one. And I'm just continuing the knit one, purl one stitch pattern until I get all the way to the end of my row. I'm going to purl my last stitch here. Alright, and then I'm just going to turn my work around. This time I want to make sure that I am purling my knit stitches and knitting my purl stitches. So because the first row I started with knitting, this time I'm going to begin by purling. And then I'm going to knit. Okay, so I knitted my last stitch, and here is 2 rows done already. You can already see the way that those little purl stitches stick out so prominently, and then the knit stitches are kind of recessed back there, and it looks the same on both sides. And then this also won't curl in at all, so you can knit this without any kind of edge around it. It's not going to roll up at the end or in from the sides. But you can just see how that creates a little pebble effect or seed stitch. Okay, so now I'm on row 3, so I'm going to make sure I begin this time. I'm going to start by knitting a stitch, because last row I started by purling. And it's really easy to tell if you're ever confused, like, okay, I've lost track of what row I'm on, so what do I start with? If you turn your work around and you can see that it's a purl stitch, like right here, you can see this is a knit stitch, and you can see the one next to it is a purl stitch. So just make sure you do the opposite. If you're keeping track of your rows, you knit the first stitch on the odd rows and you purl the first stitch on the even rows. Alright guys, so this is the end of the video. This is a very small swatch, but I think you get the idea of what seed stitch looks like. One of my favorite patterns to use this stitch on is just a giant infinity seed stitch scarf. So all I do in that instance is I cast on 18 stitches, and then I just knit one, purl one for the first row, turn it around, and I purl one, knit one for the second row. So you're just going to knit one, purl one, repeat to the end for odd rows, purl one, knit one, repeat to the end for even rows until you get through 2 whole skeins of Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. And then you're just going to cast off and you sew up the 2 ends together. You're just going to have the most comfy and totally adorable, really easy to do seed stitch scarf that makes a great Christmas gift or a birthday present for everybody. And trust me, when you start wearing it out, everybody's going to ask you where you got it and then if you can make them one. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.